Howdy, gamers, and welcome to Checkpoint Reach, where I, your host, Lex, and my co host, Ernie,
Hello, hello.
we will be chatting about video games weekly. Thank you all so much for joining us. Ernie, how are you doing today on this fine night?
Dude, I am doing well, dude. I'm doing great. I'll be honest with you. I'm doing
Hmm.
great, but I was a little tired today. Today, the day hit me harder than it would have. I think it's
Hmm.
just I had a lot of homework, and then I was just super tired, bro. I was like, dude, my
Yeah,
eyes are like when your eyes are just
a little
bloodshot
squinted.
red.
Hmm.
Yeah, dude, I felt that, and one of my eyes was like twitching. I'm like, dude, I'm on a new level.
This
I was
guy's on
tired.
fumes. He's
what
fuming.
about what about you, my friend? How are you?
Dude, honestly, I was a little tired today too, bro. I had a long day.
It's Chaves Day, isn't it? That's probably why. Oh no, wait, we're Wednesday, huh? Hump Day.
What'd you say first? Chaves Day?
Tuesday, isn't it? That's what like
Chaves Day.
Tuesday, but that's how
Well,
the
hey, we're here. You
British
get my
say it.
spirits up. Thank you very much. This episode's to get me pumped, and I'm excited to talk to you all this week because it's kind of fun. But just to get you another to the little ground rules here. Uh, what we plan on doing each week, we're going to be taking a topic in gaming with some occasional news stories. We'll throw in some movie TV quotes and just some random life rants. Um, but before we get into this week's topic, as we usually do, we have some breaking news. Wah, wah, wah.
I think.
Uh,
I don't know. I don't
and
know what that was, but that was a song.
by the time you're listening to this, it's not so breaking because I think it was announced last week. Um, but we finally got the Switch 2 announced, my friend. It's been officially announced after weeks of leaks. Like I feel like I've been seeing this like a lot. And usually
Yeah,
Nintendo
same.
doesn't tend to leak, right? I mean, I
No, I mean they leak. It's just it's more contained because only the people who are very like in the know kind of thing. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
doesn't
of
like
course.
leak everywhere. Not like your average gamer will know unless they were like on Twitter and follow like this guy named Cinnabunch Crunch Toast or whatever. You know, there's always
But
like some random YouTuber or
well,
like Twitter guy or whatever.
yeah,
But
well,
go ahead.
nowadays you don't even have to follow. They just show it just shows up and it's like, here's your algorithm.
True that. True
That's how
that.
it's happened to me. It's like a little piece and
Yeah.
it like showed a little button. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
um,
For me, it started with like some guy who they had gotten the specs or whatever, and they like made it with like an AI or not AI.
uh,
What's it called when you 3D model? And so they
yeah,
made
like a
it.
3D printer style.
Yeah, and they made it,
I
and
think I
that's
think I
my
saw that same
first.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so no release date details yet. I personally think I mean, actually, I don't really know. Like, are we doing closer to the end of the summer, early fall? There is a Switch 2 experience events that are going to be happening throughout the world. We have one in LA. I think there's one in Tokyo. There's different cities around the world. New York. I signed up for one of them. It was kind of hard to get in there. I think I signed up for like a Saturday. It's like during April. So these things end around June. What are your predictions as far as release date? Do you think it's going to do end of summer, June, July,
I
maybe?
so I had seen another leak, and I don't know if this is true, but I'm hoping it is. But sometime during June is when it was supposed to release. Depending on like how advanced like the manufacturing is already, because I mean we're not in COVID times anymore, so everything should be like be able to for them to like manufacture enough switches because there's not going to be like it's not going to be like a PS5 Pro, right? Or like they said, oh, like scalpers you're trying to sell, and it's like they lose all this money. Like the Switch 2 is going to be made
Yeah.
they're going to make a significant amount because they want to sell. They don't make money off of scalpers keeping them. You know what I mean?
No, of course not.
So
And,
yeah, so I'm
they shut them down, dude. Nintendo shut them down.
they'll probably sue them. You never know. But
They'll get them.
my theory is probably during summer, because that way they have like this like grace period for like the next 6 months to kind of start selling it, and then when they get to Christmas, they release the Hyrule Edition, Pokemon Edition,
Yeah.
Mario Kart, whatever, and it like it gives them that like sort of just space of release. But I don't know, that's my guess, and I'm also just hopeful because summer is during my birthday month, so I'm
Yeah.
like,
So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, if they're gonna have the Switch 2 experience, I feel like they must have them done by now. If they're gonna have these experiences showcasing the Switch,
so you think you're gonna
I
go in
feel like
April and then it's gonna go June, like that's like or like
well, so the
July?
final events go into June into like in another somewhere else. I forgot what city,
So then
but
probably
so
till
like it ends
August.
around June. So I feel like pre-orders are gonna go live around that time, and then maybe early July, late July. I don't know. Um, Obviously they're gonna want it in time for Christmas time so people can get it for Christmas. There's They also teased it's not much of a teaser, but it does showcase the magnetic gamepad controllers now. They're not the clicking ones. There's a new Mario Kart. Looks like they're gonna have 24 racers with a little Yoshi burger. Hopefully they'll do a little what do they call them? Pop-up shop. I don't know if you
Yeah.
caught that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
my question for you though is, are you gonna be down, buying a day one, or are you? It kind of sounds like you are from what you said.
I mean,
If you can get your hands on
I
it, obviously.
if I can get my hands on it, if I can afford it, right? It's not about like I don't think it's about like not wanting it. I'd want every console. I like I just would want it whether I'm
Hmm.
playing it or not. I just kind of want it. The
Hmm.
Nintendo's always like the thing that I just genuinely always have on hand because it's got exclusives. Like the PS5, it's got exclusives. Like we primarily play PC at the moment, but like once anything comes out PS5 or whatever, we hop on that console.
Yeah, I think.
So
I mean, sorry. Let me just touch
no,
up
no,
on
go
that.
ahead, go
Like, I
ahead, go
think,
ahead.
having the Switch that I have is nice because, like, my girlfriend plays those kind of games. She'd rather play those games than the games we play. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
she's not gonna hop on Skull and Bones. I'm kidding, but like Elden Ring
Okay,
or something like
yeah, but
that.
yeah, I want to say this because before I
Yes.
forget, but the Switch One, I looked it up on Nintendo Fandom. Apparently, it came out March 3rd, 2017 in America, and it was $300. So
Okay. I think they already released the prices.
mm,
I think that leaked, or I don't know
it
if it was
got
a
leaked
leak or
that it
an
was like
official.
$400. So I don't know if it was official or not. That's the thing.
Yeah,
It's like a lot of the things we're seeing is like from like news outlets, so it's kind of hard because you're like, well,
who's
is it
true? What's not?
true or not? And like we don't know, like because it could be. I mean, you got to get those insiders, but even those insiders sometimes are like wrong,
Exactly.
right? So,
Well, that's just Keely. No, I'm kidding.
ooh,
He's
he's
today. Now, okay. So, I mean, I personally, I'm probably not going to buy this. I don't play Switch often enough, and I think, and I just recently bought the OLED one. Like, maybe it's going to be 2 years now on Mario Day, March 10th. You guys get it? MAR 10. But I bought it. It was like a big bundle, it was OLED, and it's nice. And I don't play it a lot. My girlfriend kind of plays it, not that often, but I don't see a need for it right now. I don't
well
really think.
because you have the Asus, right? Like
No, of course.
that's the thing. It's like had you not had the Asus, had you not had these other things that are like a more enticing to play, you probably would have been playing the freaking Switch
No,
because it's a great
yeah,
console, right?
no, definitely, definitely. I mean,
Um,
I like it, like you said, the exclusives that are on there, the
yeah,
new Donkey Kong, not new Donkey Kong, but the one from the
the
Wii just
remake,
was released.
yeah.
I mean, if Odyssey 2 is an exclusive to Switch 2, then I don't know. Like Mario Odyssey 2, I don't know.
Well, they're supposedly, from what I've heard, another rumor. Obviously, this is all speculation. It isn't like,
Speculate.
yeah, we're we're just here to speculate, right? But some games are still going to come out to Switch One, and they're going to go to Switch Two, which is going to run better. Whether wherever you want to play it, the problem I'm thinking is like I'm hoping that doesn't tie them down. Like I'd
Mhm.
rather get a like Legend of Zelda whatever for the Switch 2 that runs even better and doesn't get tied behind the Switch 1 where it's like, well, we need to dial down the graphics here because of it or whatever, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
like just go full force, but like we don't know that. But I did want to mention this for the people that are thinking of getting a Switch 2. They do say in the fine print, if you read the little trailer, it says
Yes.
will be compatible with Switch 1 games. Some of them, I believe. And I'm not saying that
Yeah, it's not
correctly.
all of
It
them.
just
Yeah.
says some of them.
I saw
Um,
that, which is
and
kind of frustrating.
which, yeah. And I think it's going to be probably mostly third party games that aren't trying to develop for the Switch 2.
Yeah, you
I mean,
can't
I don't
play
know
your
how.
Assassin's Creed trilogy on your Switch 2, actually.
I don't see. That's the thing is I don't know how easy it is to port those games from the Switch One to the Switch Two, and
Mhm.
also I don't know if what they're thinking of doing is like, well, you're not going to be able to play The Witcher 3 on the Nintendo Switch from the Nintendo Switch One to the Switch Two, but wait like a year or two, and then you're going to get the remake for the Switch Two. And then
Yeah.
I'll sell it to you for some money. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like a way for gaming development to make money, but also, I mean, they're losing it, right? Because they're going into development for it. But
Yeah, I mean, we'll
uh,
see what happens. I mean,
yeah,
my
we don't
favorite part
know.
of the trailer though is the song. It goes, I'm a switch, yeah, the switch is back." Ah, a little Elton John for you all. But
Dang.
hey, looking forward to seeing how it is. I mean, obviously it's gonna be great, I think. The Switch one was great. Those magnetic control game pads, it's gonna be interesting. I wonder how they're gonna be made. Are they gonna be very durable? Like, are they gonna be easy to fall off? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. That's the
A little
thing that
scary.
like I don't like the way I don't like that little because it locks in and has like a
Mhm.
little piece that connects. It
Mhm.
sounds like a terrible idea.
I mean, I feel like they're gonna have it down though. They got to, right? I
And
mean, you can't.
I don't know if you got this in the trailer, but like the little the controllers are someone said this, they're like, you see that? The controllers are drifting. And it's like,
No.
because like the Nintendo Joy-Cons, like now for the
Yes,
Switch
yes.
One, there's drifting, meaning like, I don't know if you guys have dealt with it or you guys don't know what it is, but basically like your cursor or like whatever your character is doing when you're playing, it starts to drift like without you moving, it just kind of
Yeah,
moves
yeah.
slightly.
That's
And
no fun.
so
It's
yeah,
not
it's
a fun thing.
terrible.
And those things don't come cheap. So Switch
No,
2,
they're
look
like
out
70
for it.
bucks.
We'll see if our predictions are correct when it's going to come out. Who knows? It will be this year though, unless something crazy happens. But it should be this year. And I will let you know if I get into that Switch experience. I mean, hopefully I can bring somebody because I'd bring you if
Yeah,
you
that'd
can
be
go.
awesome. I didn't even get to sign up, which I'm really sad about. And someone told me that you could still do it, but I'm like, I never ended up trying.
Yeah, it's
I
basically a
was
lottery
probably too
system,
far
and
gone.
then like it asked me to sign my guests in, but
Yeah.
it was only like limiting me to like my Nintendo family on my family account. I'm like, I don't have a family account.
I was like, I don't think anyone.
I
Nah,
Yeah,
I
it
am.
was
I'm in a
weird. I
family.
mean,
I'm in
some
a
people
family.
do, which is great, but like I was like, what the heck? So hopefully they give me the tickets. But
Yeah.
anyway, we're gonna move on to our other breaking news, which again, it's not so breaking.
Dun, 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 dun.
We're going to talk about some of the Sony canceled live service games slash roadmap that they had with an honorable WTF mention. God of War live service was
Dude, that one
in
shocked me.
consideration, and they
The-
canceled it, which I'm glad. But
I
like,
mean, yeah.
what? Like, are they not paying attention? You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on that, man? Like, what can they do? I'm just, I don't know.
My assumption is probably doing some sort of like, like the new God of War, where you're like running through the dungeons, where it's like you're just continuously fighting a
Yeah,
particular like something in that realm. I'm assuming, or like Ghost of Tsushima sort of thing, where it's like you're bringing all these characters together to kind of like take
okay,
out one
man.
big creature or something like that.
Or
That's
like,
my assumption, but like I don't know.
sorry, no,
No, no,
I
go
want.
ahead. Go ahead.
I think now that I have an idea, actually, that this could have been cool if they're consistently updating. But like in God of War Ragnarok, when you travel to a new little realm, you got to go through that little. I'm guessing what is I don't even know what it's called, like a astro, not astroverse, what like the astral plane? Is that what they call those things? But you know
I
what
know
I'm talking
it's
about,
like the
right?
little white area, right? It's like kind of white, and you're
It's
like
like no,
going
it's like
through.
purpley, right? And you're just on one road and you're going to another door, basically. You're
Yeah, yeah,
traveling
yeah,
to a
yeah.
different realm. The Bifrost,
Hmm.
I guess. I don't know, like the Thor stuff. But
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
guess they can do that, and you're just going to different like areas. Like they'll just create new like Valhalla, obviously, and they can do
Mm-hmm.
Asgard. I don't know. They can do a bunch of different stuff, but I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like, did you not see what people want? Obviously, like they've been doing great. Everyone's been wanting God of War pure story games for as long as it's been out. Why change it up now? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, like, I mean, to be honest
You're
with
right
you,
there.
it's money. No, no,
No,
no.
of course. Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's money, right? Like live services, they make money, right? They thought that because Fortnite caught lightning in a bottle, that everyone else is gonna do something like that, like
They're too
Bungie
late
did
to the
with
game,
Destiny, right?
basically. Yeah.
In a way, but also like they're doing it to the wrong games. Like nobody wants that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like we want first party. I mean, sorry, not first party. Story based games. Like they
Yeah.
aren't going to do well, and they think that because if they do it with such a popular game,
IP.
they
Yeah.
could just bring it in there, and it's a subscription service or whatever sort of where it continuously brings in revenue. Because right now, game development is very expensive, right?
Hmm.
Like I think that's like there's a big not controversy, but like there's a big thing with one of like those insider dudes who was like, oh, maybe the first game to be $100 is going to be like GTA 5 or sorry
Yeah.
6,
Hmm.
and so people are like like backlashing because they're like, no, I'll pay, or it's like in this weird middle where it's like, no, I'd pay $100 for a game, and it's like, yeah, that's awesome, but
That's how it
not everyone
starts.
else would, right?
Yeah.
That's how it starts, the sickness, you know what I mean? Like it's like, yeah, you could do that, but also like they need to cut development costs by doing other things that are more suitable to the needs of the game development, right? Like I think like I mean, I don't know because we were not game developers, but like I'm pretty sure they spend money not the with in probably not the right way. Because some like you will hear about Concord in those games that are like super expensive to make and all this stuff, and it's like, well, what the heck were they doing for all those years with all that money? Like, were they paying
Exactly.
fat lump sum to one particular person that was just coming in and going like, you know what, this needs to look like this a little more, and then walks out the room and goes to do
Yeah,
yoga and
exactly right.
Pilates and like gets a fat coffee and a croissant. You ever seen those videos of
A fat
my day?
cat.
No, it's like my day in the life of a Google worker, and they're like, I got up at 10 o'clock, went to yoga, then like they do like 30 minutes of work in an email, and I'm like,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
why would you post that?
Yeah,
And
you're
then they
exposing
got
yourself.
fired. And yeah, they got fired. I think that's the reason like Elon Musk fired most of those people supposedly
Mm,
from Twitter, but that's like for another discussion. But I don't know. It
yeah.
feels like it's poorly managed money for these
No,
development
yeah,
game for these
definitely. I
games.
mean,
Yeah.
Sony should just stick with the first party, like what they're known for. I mean, like you said, they're trying to jump on the train. I mean, one of the canceled games that I'm disappointed about, this was announced a long time ago, but The Last of Us Online. I mean, that's something I really wanted to
I
happen
think that would
because
have been probably great because the first game had that great multiplayer, right?
fantastic multiplayer. I wish they'd brought it
Yeah.
back in the second one, but this was their plan. I'm sure they're like, let's do this online game, but ended up getting canceled. Sadly, again, like what happened? Like, why are we? I don't know why are we doing this. That would have been a hit. People wanted that. Like that's something we wanted.
Yeah.
Um, Something called Spider-Man: The Great Web. I don't know what that means. That these are canceled ones. Um, Twisted Metal, which I think would have been pretty cool
That would have been kind of
because
cool. A
yeah,
little
I
battle
think
royale
Twisted I
sort of
think
version
Twisted
of
Metal
that.
could have worked for sure.
Yeah.
Ben Studio had a live service game that was planned. They were behind Days Gone and Resistance. And Horizon, I think you just sent me that it's not maybe
Yeah, that one's
canceled.
canceled too. Yeah, it might not be or might be. Maybe they're too far into development where they're like, might as well release it. But like I keep seeing these things on Twitter where it's like they're trying to bank on a character that nobody cares about. But I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure people do. It's just not everyone, but it's like it made a lot of money, right? The game is like really
Yeah,
popular. That's why
it's a
they're
popular game. Yeah,
yeah.
I for Horizon especially, like the open world is so huge and there's so much to do. Like, why do we need a live service for it? Like, you could do
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much. There's so much of that game I have not touched because it's just so huge. Forbidden West,
Yeah.
especially, but
I
I don't know.
think to be honest with you, Lex, I think moving forward, there's probably going to be more acquisitions of game companies, just
Hmm.
because a lot of them are not making money. I know Ubisoft is in the air right now.
Hmm.
I don't even know if Assassin's Creed Shadows or whatever is going to save it, but like I think that's a popular game development or game developer company that is going to be looked or sought after when they end up buying it because they have so much IP, right?
Yeah.
But I like my assumption also is that Sony is gonna like double down on third party sort of exclusive things. They're gonna hire these companies, give them X amount of money to make these games that are for the platform alone, right? Like I think now moving forward, Square Enix, I don't think they're gonna make first party games. Like I think they're done because of what happened with Final Fantasy Rebirth, and I think right now because Rebirth released on PC, I don't think it's out yet, but I
I don't
think
think
it's like
so.
top on the Steam charts. Like that means that people are like ready for this game to pop out. So you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
definitely.
so it's like it's kind of a gamble. Like we don't know. Like it's like Helldivers, right? It
I
came
was
out
about to
on
say, yeah. Hmm.
PS5 and PC simultaneously, and that game did
Did
really
gangbusters.
freaking
Yeah, did
well.
really well.
Yeah,
I loved
it
it.
did
It was
really
a
well.
fantastic game.
It's a great game, and it's but it's hard because like Concord came out on PC and PS5, and that did not do well. So it's like
No.
it's a gamble, right? But it's like,
Of course, like
what is
everything
the
is, right? Yeah.
this is what it is. It boils down to Lex. It's like what is the market dictating, right? What does the market want? Basically, what do we want as gamers? What do we want in our games? And it kind of seems like they've fallen from that sort of like. I think this is what the gamers want. Like they're
Mhm.
not now they don't have any sort of, or at least we're talking about PlayStation at this moment, but they don't have any sort of like not a saving grace, but we're not like it's not like we're tied down to them because of all the good stuff they've done for us.
Yeah.
Like they you know what I mean? Like it's like they're like you haven't done good stuff for us in a while. Like why am I gonna stay here?
Yeah, we're still waiting. And then there's the news that maybe the PS6 is supposed to be coming out soon. It's like, no, it's like you haven't even done anything with PS5 yet. You're still like
And
working
that's
on
the
this.
thing. Yeah, it's coming out 2027, but that's
It's
like
a
we
rumor,
kind of knew,
speculation.
right? It's a
Hmm.
speculation, but like that's kind of what we were like expecting. Like what do you what I mean, they're only going to upgrade so much, but like the PS5 Pro right now that it came out, it has like nothing really to show for itself. Like
Yeah.
nothing that it's really like, oh man, I really need this.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no game. I mean, maybe Grand Theft Auto when it comes out, but sucks. I mean, there's a few other unannounced games that
Yeah.
are on there that, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what PlayStation's future. A lot of it was canceled, so it's pretty wild. So that wraps up the live service issue with Sony. We just wanted to bring those two topics up for you all. Before we get into the main topic of the episode, though, let's get to the main question that we like to ask each other, Ernie. What games we are currently playing? I know I went first last time. I went first last time, so you can go ahead.
Did you? Okay, I was gonna say you can go
You
again,
told me
but
last time you were on. You went first, or I went first.
uh,
I don't know. Something you said to
I
me.
don't even
Anyway, you
remember.
you go.
I, I
Go,
don't.
go,
I
you
don't
go.
remember nothing. Okay, no worries. Yeah, so I am still playing The Witcher 3, which I'm very happy to say. I'm
He's happy.
18
He's
plus
glad.
hours. He's glad. Fucking the Grinch.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, dude, 18 hours in. I think, like I said, plus. I think there's a little bit more. But what a fantastic game, dude! I cannot stop selling this game to anyone. Like, I would definitely like if you guys just asked me more like questions about it because I'm still in it. Like, I'm like barely gonna finish Act 1, and there's like 3 acts, which is wild. I was telling Lex that I was like, this is crazy. I don't know if the rest of the acts like because it's not a chapter. It's like Act 1, and it's like a whole ton of stories. And then Act 2 and a whole ton and like that. I don't know how long the acts will
Mhm.
be. Like I think with Death Stranding, I think one of the we played it and it was like chapters, and in like a few of those chapters it was like really fast. So I
Yeah,
don't
I
know if
mean
it'll be
that
like
that
that.
could happen. Yeah, exactly. There's
Exactly.
a
So
game
I
I
don't
played
know.
recently that was like that too, but good.
Yeah, I don't know if The Witcher 3 will be like that, but so far it's a fantastic game. The dialogue, the story, dude, it is hitting so darn well. And it's crazy because it took me this long to try to like even get to this kind of game. This is the first time I've played an RPG of this caliber in such a long time, right? Like
Mhm.
I know we played Red Dead and that took us a while because it was just a little great open world, but like The Witcher 3 is so different. Like it's really freaking good, bro. Like I am really enjoying my time. I haven't had this in a while since probably Lies of P,
Mhm.
which I finished like not long ago, but I have that feeling of like that itch. I can't wait to play. Like I
I'm glad.
I
That's always
like
good.
yeah, like I'm like I have to do my chores. I have to like life is happening, but I'm like man, I can't wait to
Life's
hop
of
on.
E. Life's of
Oh,
Ernie.
but yeah, what about you, my friend? What are you playing?
That's great, man. I mean, again, you're inspiring me to play that game again. I know we've talked about it. I started it, but I have not finished it. I need to get back into it. And the reason I say you're inspiring me because you inspired me to play another game.
You're my
Lies of P. We were teasing it. We were
inspiration.
teasing it, but so
Yeah,
I started my journey with Lies of P. Ernie was talking about it before. He really sold me on the game. Kind of similar to how you told me I sold you on Indiana Jones, but you'll get there at some point.
dude.
Um,
After The Witcher 3, I'm going indie.
yeah, he's going indie. He's going indie. Not indie. Indie indie and indy. Anyway, sorry.
Give them hell,
But
Indiana.
I also heard a lot
That's
of people are playing
exactly
The Witcher because they thought it was the movie Wicked. No, I'm kidding.
Alpha comes out or whatever. Or what's her
Alpha
name?
Alpha.
Oh,
So yeah,
that
I've
was
been playing
Alpha.
Lies of B. I want to say maybe about almost 3 hours now. I'm playing this game. I'm having a great time. I think it's great. I played Elden Ring before. I That's the only FromSoft like experience I really had. So I'm going into it not like I'm not finding it too difficult yet. I have ran into some enemies that are giving me more trouble. I'm on this one currently that has like two big shields. I'm in like this factory. I'll ask you about it later off pod, but I mean off channel. I'm sorry. But I'm having a good game, but it's really somber. It's a little dark. You know what I mean? So I kind of wanted a game. I like to have a lot of side games. Um, so I'm excited to play Lies P. But the game that I just started, because I had the doll and I talked about it on the first game, the action figure, I'm sorry. Doom Eternal. I finally started it. I've been meaning to start it for a long time.
It's
I
just a
have
doll.
It's just the doll. Um, I have not played a Doom game since the original on was it Nintendo? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't
Yeah,
know. 1993, I think was the first one I played. I mean, it was way after because I wasn't born in '93, but
yeah.
well, I was born before that, but I wasn't old enough still. But I remember playing it. It's been super hard. I'm playing it now, and Ernie, this game is like I'm having a good time. And let me just tell you this funny thing about the difficulty modes when I started it up. The difficulty modes are I'm too young to die, hurt me plenty, ultra violence, nightmare,
Yeah,
ultra
yeah.
nightmare. I'm like
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
pretty
"Wait, which is
wild.
the one I want?" But, and it's pretty sweet. So, basically, this game is just like a cocaine-fueled nightmare, like, you're just, like, super fast-paced, just shooting waves of enemy, and it's the perfect game for, like, dumb fun, like, you
You're playing the second one, right?
I'm playing Eternal, Doom Eternal.
Eternal. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I didn't play the one that came out, I think it was
2016, I believe.
2016, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm playing Eternal. It was free on something, I got it, but, like, I'm having a good time. It's fun, like I said, it's mindless, just shooting, just endless rounds of enemies and demons you're fighting, and it's just like the music's like
Dude, it's
you're just
so
like a
good, bro.
flying
It's
like a
so
bat out
sweet.
of hell, dude, just
Yeah,
killing
yeah.
all these and it's fun, like, you have to learn, like, you have, like you have to use, like, your chainsaw to get, like, more ammo, but, like, sometimes your chainsaw doesn't have fuel. You have to, like you really have to strategize in how you're fighting these enemies, like, because you're getting constant waves of enemies. Like, you start with this weak enemies, and the next stage is basically another round with those same other enemies, and they all just get thrown in one as it keeps going. And it's like
Dude,
there's
yeah.
one part, like, I jumped in the air. They didn't know I could do this. You do a finisher move, like, in the air, and dude, it was pretty awesome. I'm having a good time. I think it's pretty cool. I think I'll most likely finish it. I thought it was gonna be a game I picked up and be like, not really feeling it, but I'm having a good time. Like I said, it just takes my mind off of things and just
That's
like
funny. What a game to take your mind off things. It's so tense. I've only
it
played the
is very tense, but
2016 one. I wanted to get into Eternals, but I just never picked it up, and I was too far gone to end up playing it.
yeah.
But dude, you're right. Like I remember playing the first one, and if it's any indication of the first one, might have been like maybe they made it even crazier. But I remember like I was playing Doom 1, and I was like just killing, 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 and then I would like stop and start collecting, and then slow like because the music, like you said, it's like or whatever, right? It's
Yeah.
all crazy, and then all of a sudden it kind of slows down, and then you go to the next place, and it goes dun
Yeah,
dun
and
dun
it goes
dun
on
dun dun,
again,
dun
yeah.
and it starts up again, and you're like, dude, my freaking heart was like, dude, I was like,
Yeah, dude, it's
dude, I was
bro.
like,
I know,
it's
it's funny
intense.
'cause, like, yeah, it's not a game for the weak for sure. I'm not playing on the hardest mode either, but, um, it's just wild, man. I mean, it's and they have online like, they have a lot of stuff to it, like, there's online modes, but maybe I'll dabble in a little bit, I don't know. But,
I don't dabble.
I'm having a good time playing it. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm not, like, super, like, like, I've died a couple times. I'm just like, "Oh, man." I'm like, "I gotta" and I just go, like, "I need to think about what I'm doing here," and, like, re-strategize. So it's fun. It's
Yeah,
fast-paced, levels are quick, plentiful and checkpoints, with the version I'm playing, the mode I'm playing. There is a mode called Extra Life Mode. I think if you die, you die. It's like I'm like, "I'm not doing that." But
no,
anyway,
that sounds terrible.
good games, having a good time with those, both. I was playing a little Liza P before we got into this, we started talking, but let's go ahead and jump into the main topic here. We're calling this episode the Nostalgic Hour, GameStop edition slash pre-orders, and just the vibe of GameStop memories. I know, and I say this like GameStop is dead, but it kind of is, right? It's not how it used to be. I mean, they're still around, but like who goes there, honestly? Like it's not a place I'm like, I need to go to GameStop, but I used to be, right? So I want to talk about the memories. I think I started going to GameStop, gosh, I don't know, long. It's been it's early 2000s probably for me, or maybe even early or late 90s, or whenever it opened. I don't even know when it started, but I remember the smell, the vibes, the workers, some good, some bad. Me wanting to work there so badly. The robbery of our games when we sold them to them. Pro memberships with an RIP with Game Informer, the pushing of the pre-orders they gave us, midnight launches, all that good stuff. Uh, Gosh, I don't even know where to start, man. I kind of want to start with Game Informer here. If there's a pro membership that you can purchase, and I remember purchasing the pro membership because it gave you Game Informer. I love Game Informer. This is the way you got your games. This is kind of predating internet. Internet wasn't as great yet. Um, you get the weekly magazine. I think it was like $15 for the year. Game Informer, unfortunately, I think this past year, right, is when it tanked. It ended up shutting down, I believe. But I used to remember loving that. And every once in a while, friends, there's these little things that they used to give it called demos. They don't give a lot of demos nowadays for games, which is sad. But they'd come up with a little disc, and you could just play whatever games had on these discs. And gosh, it was so fun. What are your memories of Game Informer, man? Did you have the membership as well?
I did. I had it a handful of times. I want to say that I was able to scrounge up enough money to like receive, to get it. And
Mhm.
I remember getting those magazines, and just the feel of them was so. There was just there's nothing like it. I don't get me wrong, it's cool. I get it to go on Twitter and look up news and or get your phone, pull that out. But there was just something about getting a magazine and looking at games that you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait for this game. Like this predates sort of the internet for me. Like it wasn't. It's not that we didn't have internet at the time. It's just like
No.
there
It
wasn't.
wasn't
It
yeah,
was.
that's
It
good.
wasn't like it is now, where I'm able
Mhm.
to just log in and see everything. Back then, it was like more like, oh, we'll go to the library. We didn't have a PC growing up at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, or internet. So
We had
like
one, but it wasn't, the best, but anyway.
exactly. So
Mhm.
what we had was this, and they would show you Metal Gear Snake Eater and like these, and I was just like, dude, my brother I believe still has a few of them that are
Mhm.
like really cool, and then the art style
Mhm.
to these like. I know in the background, if you guys or when you're watching this YouTube video,
Mhm.
you guys can see, but there's like some great artwork that whoever did them was like top tier, bro. That it's so freaking neat, bro.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, like you said, like, there's something about just going through the pages because nowadays, you're just gonna go to the link to the game you want, right? The one that interests you. But with Game Informer, you'd see these games like, "I've never heard of this. Let me read into it a little bit. This sounds great." I personally used to make lists for myself of games I'd want that would come in Game Informer. I'd make a nice little list, and, I would always look them up, release dates, and made, like, a little in the little Microsoft Word, and then and just have them there, like, when the Christmas time came around or birthdays, I'm like, "Alright, I gotta choose one of these games, like, what do I want?" And sometimes those interests would die. Obviously, there was delays in games, and some games just never made it out. But yeah, it was nice, man. I mean, you're going through all these for the audio listeners. I mean, you can't see this, but he's going through multiple Game Informer covers, and like you got Vice City. I remember that one. Like, there's so many on here that I just remember so perfectly. I'm like, oh my goodness, like it was so exciting to get that magazine. Like, I would just be so excited to get it and waiting for the next issue. And I'm looking at the last issue was in July of last year, 2024, which sucks. It's sad to
I
say.
wonder what that game was.
Which game?
The last issue or the last magazine cover. Like what was
It,
in the front, basically.
it was Concord. No, just kidding.
No,
I
I
don't
was
know.
like, dude, no way, dude. What a way, what a way to
Um,
go.
I gotta look it up right now, but God, it looks like
Is
it's
that
Dragon Age. To be honest with you, yeah, it's Dragon Age is on there,
okay?
which is a game we
Yeah,
talked about last week, and apparently hasn't been selling well. But yeah, man, it was great, and you know, I want to talk about the workers. Some are good, some are bad. I had some good relationships with some of the workers that I had at my
we're talking
GameStop, my
about
local
GameStop, right?
GameStop. Yeah, GameStop. I want to tell a specific story of the game Bully. So I pre-ordered the game Bully, and back then you would pre-order, you could put $5 on a game. They'd give you the receipt, it'd tell you your credit. And I think you do the same thing, Ernie. You would go in every once in a while and you had a couple more change. You're like, let me throw it towards
Yeah,
that
you would put
game.
it in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I reserved the game Bully, and and I had this one guy, and he was super cool, and he knew me. He's like, talk to me, what's up, Lex? How you doing, man? Oh, blah, blah. And he'd call me Bully Man, because he knew was so excited for this game Bully. I think it got delayed. And then the day it finally comes out, I go and he's not there, and I go and I'll pick it up. I'm so excited, and I'm looking it up. They're all, "Oh, we don't have any record of you having this game." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "It's been paid off. Like I have the receipts. So we can't find it." Sure enough, dude, my buddy, he comes out from the back room and he goes, "Bully man!" He's almost. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he's like, "Oh, this guy's been waiting for it." And he pulls out the. I don't even know if this is the edition they were all giving out, but it was like a special edition one that came with the dodgeball from the game.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm like, "Thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate it." That was the last time I ever saw him. I don't know if he got fired.
Well, because
I
of
don't
you,
I don't
he got fired. Yeah.
and I don't think he did, but I think it was like, he was probably already on his way out, but I think it was just funny that I never saw him after that. I'm like, and I always thought about it, like, "Oh my gosh, what if I got him fired for that?" But, like, I paid for the game. They were robbing me. You know what I mean? And then, like, as the years went on, like, there were some workers I was telling you this before this, because I always wanted to work there, and I remember asking the guy one of these nights at I say, "Hey, man, is it good to work here? Is it fun, like, hard?" And he's all, "Yeah, especially since we're not hiring." Like, just, like, mad. I'm like, "Oh, alright. I'm sorry, man." You had some characters. You definitely had some
You
characters.
definitely did. I'll be honest with you. I made friends with like maybe 3 of the guys there, one
Mhm.
of the girls at one point, and then one of my buddies, who was a good friend of ours, ended up working there like later on in his life. And dude, it was sweet because I would come in and he would just be like, "Oh, hey," and I was like, "Dude, heck yeah, dude." Oh, I don't even have Facebook, but dude, yeah, it's such an experience because it's not the same, right? Like now you
It's
know,
all
we
online or
yeah, or
digital.
digital, right? Like I don't think I've gone to a store and bought a physical game in
Yeah.
quite some time. I think the last thing I've bought was like gift cards or like whatever money to redeem into for digital gaming. Or I haven't been to a GameStop in quite some time. But
Yeah. Every
last
once in a
time I
while.
went,
Sorry, go
go
ahead.
ahead. I
No,
was
no,
gonna
go
say
ahead.
last time I went was to go find my brother, and this was like, dude,
Was
like
he lost?
last year. No, no,
Sorry.
no.
Just
Well,
kidding.
let me finish.
I know.
So it was to find my brother a copy of Grand Theft Auto 4 on the PS3, like a
Mhm,
complete edition version of it.
mhm.
And I didn't even think they still had it, but I drove him like really far to a GameStop that I didn't even think would probably still exist, but it was there, bro. And like you walk in and they have all these cool little things, and the workers are there, and now they're not as intrusive. We're like, "Hey guys, can I help you out? Like, what do you need?" Like, like they're on you kind of thing. It's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
can
mean,
pre-order this." They're not, because I think they could see certain people who are like the people they can sell that to, and some people they can't. So
of
maybe
course.
I just don't look like those kind of people, but like
It's mostly, like, the
there's
older people that are taking in, like, young kids, like, they don't really know.
yeah, like the parents. Like
Yeah,
I think the parents are the suckers, bro. Like
of course.
when I was there, this kid was trying to sell something, and I remember like it was like a handful of games, and they were gonna give him like, dude, they were gonna give him like $25. It was really stupid. But the dad was like, "Oh yeah, that's good. That works. That works." And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
"Oh my
mean,
gosh, it is so bad." But
no, I mean, and
they don't
yeah, I
know any
wanna
better, right?
yeah, and I wanna talk about that, because talking about the robbery, I mean, speaking of the Switch too, you can take your original Switch and get maybe $10, but they would they'd push the Pro membership because 'cause they'd say it's funny because 'cause they're like, "Okay, this game," let's say a random game was $5, but if you're a Pro member, it's $7. Like, there was that, like, they started doing that, but I remember when I would sell games, I was a victim. I was a kid. I wanted new
Same.
games.
We didn't have money, bro.
I sold so many of my games, and I think if my parents even found that out, they would probably have been pissed.
I don't
Um,
even think my mom ever knew.
I don't think they knew
Like
either, and I would just
I
have a new game. They weren't
man,
tracking my games.
I know my brothers like later on, bro. Like we
Yeah.
talked about it, and we would always be like, "You're so like like one of my brothers the other day brought it up, and he's like, "You're so stupid for selling that game," and I was
Yeah,
like,
of course.
and I
No,
was like, "Dude, I know, but it's like we could
and
have had that," and I was like, "I know."
you can buy a brand new game. Like, I remember towards the end of my started going to the GameStop, newer games, they were already saying you can return them for, like, $40, and they were, like, $60 games. It's like, "Oh my gosh." But I just wanna say, like, when I was taking them when I was young, I would always wait for the deals, and they did this a lot. I don't think they do it anymore, but they used to do, like, you turn in 3 games, you get an extra $10. You get 5 games, you get an extra 20, like, that's all it was, and that's what I'd always wait for, and I thought that was nice, but I would still get gypped. Never and a tip for everyone, never sell a sports game because it was always like 25 cents you would get because those games just died so much. But yeah,
Yeah,
it
they
was
like go on
robbery.
sale in 3 months or a month or something.
It was highway robbery as they say,
Yeah, Papa
and they
Columbia
push.
says that, dude.
They
That's
push
crazy.
for pro they because, they made commission, I think, off the if you pre-order
Yeah.
games, and you just have to throw $5, that's it. I wanna tell another story, and I thought it was funny. This was my first ever experience with DLC, and downloadable content, if you don't know, I hope you do if you're listening to this this episode, but, uh, Assassin's Creed 3 was coming out, and I remember I was in line. I don't even know if I was there for Assassin's Creed. I don't know what it was, but I was sitting there, and I'm just like, I might have been putting money, I don't know. Actually, I might have been picking up the game. Yeah, that's what it was, I'm sorry. And I can hear the guy in front of me, he's talking to the guy. He's like, oh man, are you gonna get the new DLCs? Oh, it's only $30. He's like, you get to kill George Washington. That's pretty sweet. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it. And I'm like, listening to him this little pitch. I'm all, damn, that sounds pretty cool. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. Like that sounds awesome. Like twist
I
in
want to
history.
kill a founding father.
And so I'm up, and he starts giving me the same spiel. I'm like, yeah, I already heard it. I'm like, I'm down. Like that sounds really cool. He's like, yeah, bro, yeah. I buy the DLC. Little did I know the DLC was not out. It was coming out later. And I remember not liking Assassin's Creed 3 at all, so I stopped playing it.
Yeah,
So I never got to do the DLC, and it was just kind of funny. I was like, oh man, I was a sucker. I got suckered in.
I want to say that game, I think something happened where it like either came out broken or something happened.
It was very broken.
Yeah, so they gave you a DLC for free, which was like this like really cool little map. I mean, well, you didn't end up playing it, but I did. But you know, that's a funny thing. That was my first YouTube video I ever made, was that DLC that they gave us for free.
Really?
Yeah, it was me running.
Still in the wild?
I don't think so. I deleted everything just because I wanted to start anew. You know what I mean? So like, but it was there. But it was like not me. Like I wasn't there like talking like this. It was just literally the recording of the video.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a little different. But well, I should say this. My first like sort of like, I don't know, like recorded video that actually looked good, because I used to have an iPhone 4. As random little side rant, bro. I used to have an iPhone 4, and I would prop it up on a freaking little. I propped it up on a little like camera thing that I was just holding onto it like that. And back then Call of Duty Black Ops used to have this theater mode where you would record your gameplay, and I was decent at Call of Duty. Like I would drop some pretty nasty gameplay, and so I recorded that, and I would turn it up really loud, and I would just record it, dude, and I would upload that to YouTube. And there was one of them where my mom walked in, bro, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
I mean, that happened a lot, right? You do a game.
No, definitely, but it's just so freaking funny, bro. Because
that is awesome. I wish I could find that video.
Dude, it's gone. There's a sorry, this is another one. Friend of the cast, MY, McFlyer. He
shout out.
He had this YouTube video, and it was the song "Cult of Personality." You know what I'm talking about? And he had gameplay of Halo. I want to say it was like Reach, or might have been Halo. Yeah, it might have been Halo Reach. And it's like him and a Warhog, and that song's in the background, like Mussolini, and it's like diddle, and it was like really crappy.
That's already awesome. Are you sure it was Halo 3, like the end level?
I don't remember. No, it was like multiplayer, and I'm assuming it was like probably 360.
I love that.
Man, it was so sweet, bro. And I still think of I still tell him about it, and I still like remember it. So
that's hilarious. There's one thing I wanted to lastly touch on the pre-order stuff. Like, it was always fun going in there, and like you see like the stack of the games. Or like they had a little drawer where they open and they just pull out the game for you. Like you won't see that anymore. I know something about that I like.
Yeah.
Even when you
real special, right? Like,
even when you bought, because it's like these are for the reserved people. Like, because games weren't available back in the day. Like you couldn't get games if you didn't reserve them. Like for some of them, like some places would not have them in stock. It's like,
you would go to Target and they wouldn't be there. Walmart, like, so you'd have to be like, dude, do you guys like back then? I remember you'd have to call them. You guys have a copy, and they'd be like, we have one copy left, man.
And some places would hold it, some places wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like that's not a thing anymore.
And we didn't have cars, so we had to like figure it out.
Dude, bro, I would tell my mom.
You're running in your Warthog.
Dude, I would tell my. I would tell my mom, like, can we go, please? And she's like. You know, and it was like, now that I think about it, right? Like we were stupid kids, yes. But like now that I think about it, like now that we're older, right? We work a full shift or we're tired, and like my mom was doing that, and it's like, God bless their souls, dude.
No, right? I used to have a friend that I would just text like we'd ride bikes. I'm like, hey, do you want to come with me to GameStop? He's like, yeah, for sure. We just get on bikes and just jam over there. And it's close to me. Like it used to be close to me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're closer to you for sure. But
yeah, we were just like even and walk sometimes if we had to. But yeah, you're totally right. It's like it's funny like.
That's so great.
Yeah, but I remember bringing in my grandpa once for an M-rated game, and the guy was like, "You know this is M-rated, right, sir?" And he's all, he had no idea what was going on, and I'm like, "Yeah, he knows."
Yeah, dude, we so when Grand Theft Auto San Andreas had come out,
oh yes, those adults told me it was banned.
There was there was. Yeah.
Let me just say real quick.
Please.
When San Andreas came out, someone hacked it where there was this mod or whatever mode called Hot Coffee, and it's basically like a full sex scene with a girlfriend that CJ has, and it was very graphic, even though it looks like crap. It's all like really bad
It's all really
graphics,
pixelated.
but like at
Yeah.
the time, obviously it was huge, so they marked it adults only because of that, before they got it cleared out. But anyway, continue.
So yeah, so
Hot Coffee.
so my mom had found out about that game, and I guess they were saying like don't buy this game for kids because they can have sex with hookers or whatever. I think it was it was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or 3. I think it was San Andreas though, because you talk about the hot coffee. I just don't recall. So like we went and we're like begging her, like, can you buy it for us? And then she had seen that on the news like prior to us heading to that. And then she's like, is this the game that has that? I'm like, we're like, no, it's not.
No. And
The crazy thing is because I have 2 other brothers, my 2 older brothers, and dude, we are like little bastards. Like we would combine forces somehow, and we twisted her arm basically, and she got it for us. Dude, we came home and we're like, and then we did the when you could have sex in the car, and it's like, and we're all like,
it's funny because
they're just
especially Grand Theft Auto 3, you just honk and she'd walk into your car and like you just sat there and then like you paid her, but then like I remember we just shoot her after and get our money back.
Yeah, we do the same thing.
But it was dumb. They just stand there like and make noises. Yeah. But it's pretty funny.
Man,
I mean,
gaming, my friend.
Gaming, yes, exactly. But those are good times. I mean, let's speak about more pre-order stuff. There's also a thing that people might not know about called midnight launches. Now, I didn't partake in too many of these, but I know we did one together. We did BioShock Infinite. I remember we did like a little trivia night, and I remember talking to the guy. I'm like, "Oh, did you get the game?" He's like, "No, actually, what happened? I went the next day for something. I think I used to be into guides, like limited edition guides. I got one for Last of Us, BioShock. I don't know why. Strategy guides, everyone. Yeah. This wasn't just internet. It was actual books after game facts, game FAQs.
Do you still have those, dude? I remember you said you had a little collection.
I do have them somewhere. I have them.
That's awesome. You should put them out. Like, you know how like your girlfriend, right? She has her little books, like Hook, Line, and Sinker, and all those. Like, you should do your little strategy guys. That sounds like it's such a dope idea.
I mean, yeah, I have some of my other gaming stuff, but anyway, yeah, that is a good idea. Maybe when I finally get like my displays that I really want to do, but
for sure.
I remember going the next day and asking my mom, "Hey, did you play BioShock last night?" Because you and I played it that same night, and we got home, and I think you played a lot of it. Right?
I beat it in that night, bro. I like literally stayed up till like, dude. I think we got it. We didn't even get it midnight. I think we got it like at 10. It was like earlier, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
It wasn't midnight. It was like earlier. So I got home, dude. I didn't go to sleep till like freaking 10. That's 11 in the morning, bro. The next day, like it was crazy. I don't know
why you did that.
I don't know how old we were. When did that come out, dude? What year was that? You know,
BioShock Infinite had to be. I want to say 2010.
Let me see. I'm gonna look it up.
If I'm gonna guess. But yeah, 2013. But yeah, I asked the guy. We were kind of older. We were at high school. That's what we had to do. Yeah, this is 2013, bro.
You said 2013? Oh, how old was I?
I was at high school at 2011, so this is 2 years after. I was like 20 years old. 21.
I was 23. Yeah. Dude, what was I doing with my life? No,
we were young, buddy.
No, I know we were young. No, you know what? You know what the cool thing is?
What's that?
The cool thing. I'm thinking, it was a sweet song. I think like work because I think I was working. I think we weren't we working at Target together during this time?
No, I might have still been at Boston Market, honestly.
Oh man, I know I was doing something.
That's another nostalgic hour for another day.
Yeah,
no, I'm kidding.
The next episode. But yeah, no, yeah, dude, 23 years old, probably. I know I had my wife was my girlfriend at the time, and I know I had her, and like I just, dude.
Hey, we were hardcore gamers back in the day.
Yeah, we were. I mean, we still sort of, but like these were dog times. You know what I mean? There's no denying.
I can't even play past 9 nowadays.
Dude, I know.
I struggle.
I always tell you, I try to play games with my Steam Deck in bed, and I'm like,
I can't.
Like it falls on my head.
We can only play like an hour sessions, but yeah, midnight launches were great. I mean, but yeah, I remember asking the guy the next day, and he was like, "Yeah, I didn't get it. My buddy didn't get it for me. I don't know what happened. Some stupid stuff." But I remember winning a poster, and I had the poster. I remember they had this is not a midnight launch, but they had a Guitar Hero 3 event at my GameStop, and I don't like to brag, but I won 4th place at this Guitar Hero event. I got $5. I got a $5 gift card, not for a pre-order. which is pretty sweet. I mean, it used to be experiences. I remember, and this is going to be a thing that people probably won't know about. I mean, some places still have this, but when you go into a store, it can be wherever, GameStop, Target, they'll have like a demo of like a game you can play. They don't have it as much anymore. It's pretty sad. When I was in Miami, they had one at a Target. I was playing Mario Kart. uh, I know, but you know what's funny? I was thinking about too the other night. I was like, remember how jazzed we used to be
Tell me,
when
tell me.
Target had buy two get one free for video games.
Oh, dude, I remember. Well, you had gotten me into that, right?
Yeah, we got
And
really into that. It was such
yeah,
a
we did.
bad deal when you think
It
about
was,
it.
yeah, it's not a very good deal, but I remember I did it after you told me, and I bought Medal of Honor, Warfighter, or whatever at the time,
We used to,
and
you and I, we used to like split it somehow. We'd get a game. I don't know
yeah,
how we did it, but
I think we would get two of the same game, then we would get an extra and like share it.
something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or
that's
like if you only
crazy.
wanted one game and I wanted two, you're like, okay, like go halves with me on the second game. Or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know, something
something
weird like
like
that.
that. Yeah,
We
that's
did
what we
something
were
weird.
doing.
We're
Dang,
always
dude, we
getting around the system.
yeah,
uh,
we still do, we still
we
do.
still do. We still do. But yeah, man, I
Uh,
mean, GameStop was just, it was definitely an experience, man. I mean, it sucks that I mean, obviously it's so much easier to get games, but like just that thrill of going in. I mean,
yeah.
it always smelled. I want to tell you a quick story too.
Everyone smelled.
Yeah,
It did smell kind of sticky. It's kind of like when you. Well, I don't know if you guys ever been to this, but if you guys ever go to like E3,
mm,
there's a particular stench that certain gamers give out,
yeah,
and
it's the BS a
it's
little
the
bit.
bo. But I don't know what it is. It's like I don't shower, or it's just like the day has like really hindered their soul, but they smell.
I mean, yeah, you're just all day just waiting. But like, I just want to tell you this another story that when I went to GameStop once, I remember I was very hungry, and I don't know why we went in. It was like during the holidays. We were going in either to pick up a game or return a game, and I was in there with my brother and a friend. And I remember I was so hungry and it was really hot, and I passed out in the store. And we were in it was a long line too. And like all of a sudden I wake up and I'm like on the floor, and my brother and my friend pick me up and we go outside. Oh, what happened? They're all, dude, we're just standing there. And all of a sudden you hit every shelf, you're all you fell back.
Oh my gosh.
I remember like the last thing was just feeling a really sharp like stomach like growl, and then like it was so hot that I just had passed out, bro. It was bad. And it
What the
smelled
hell?
obviously like crap.
Wait, what? What?
It smelled pretty bad in there too. Like it was just like it was bad. But
Whoa, that's
like it
crazy. I've never
smelled
heard
in the
this
store
story.
too. You know how it is. But yeah,
No,
I
I
thought I
know what
told
you
you the
mean.
story.
No, I've never heard this. This is the first time. First time for the channel. First time for
First time
the
for the
for
for
me.
the urns, you know what I mean? I thought you knew
Yeah, that's
everything about me.
crazy. That yeah, I thought I knew everything about you, dude. That is wild. That's scary. So what did they
Yeah.
do? Give you a Snickers or?
They gave me a they made me pay. I'm kidding. There was also another thing I wanted to say too. Like when you bought the game off the shelf, obviously the disc wasn't in there, and they
No,
pulled
yeah.
again with the drawer. They pulled the little drawer and they go, you know, they're cycling through the
I
games. They
like that.
find it.
Yeah, yeah, well
Here's
done.
your game, and you're like, yes. But like, I
I don't know
remember
if you
too.
ever
There was sorry
you would
before
get
I
you would. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh just like when you did return games. I remember there was a spray you could buy somewhere to wipe off the in case there were scratches. But I took care of my games pretty well,
No, they
so I
never
never had that
will.
issue. But I know there was some moments we had to do that. We were like, oh no.
That's what I was
It
gonna
was bad.
say. Is like you would get a game and then you would look at it, then I would be like, this one's a little scratched. Can I get a new one? And they would change it out. Like I
Yeah,
learned to do that because like, well, after Blu-ray became a thing, scratches didn't really matter. You could scratch the crap out of your game and it would be fine. But
that's true.
like,
Yeah.
obviously, you can't like really dig into it
Yeah,
and
because I
mess it
remember
up like
those
that.
the
But
times when you put a scratch game in like a PS2, and it would be like you just start making these crazy
yeah,
noises. You're
dude,
like,
dude,
what is happening?
I think the worst one was the PS1. I think the PS1, like if anything was on there, bro, dude, you're done. Like that
Yeah,
game is done.
you couldn't blow on it either. Yeah, it's funny you say that because like when you'd sell them games, they would look at the game and then scan it for the price. I'm like, so if like, how do you determine the price? You're gonna scan it anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I guess they can just tell you I can't buy this game because it's too scratched. I don't know. Um, have you seen that? There's a video somewhere on YouTube where some guy makes fake games and tries to sell them at GameStop. Have you seen those videos? Uh, I don't know if you have.
Yeah, I have
Which
seen
is
that.
pretty
And
funny.
like
Like people are
like
like, "What the
they'll
heck
put
is
like his
this?"
Yeah, I seen that. There was a I don't know if it's the same guy, but he does like one where it's like movies and it's like his grandma.
Yo, yeah,
And
she's like, "What the hell?" She's all
it's
pissed
like
off.
it's like Shrek 5 and it's like her like all molded or whatever.
I remember I gotta say this real quick
Go
because I thought it
ahead.
was funny. Do you remember when Burger King came out with, like, 3 video games? Do you remember this?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The
It was like
the
a
racer
racing
one.
game, there was a
Yeah, the racing one,
sneaking
Sneaky
one,
King. Yeah.
and I forgot what the other one was
And
called, and
wasn't
I
the
think
one
I
like Dorito Crash or something? Or
something like that. I remember going to
maybe.
resell those games, and I got nothing out of it. Oh, Sneak King, Pocket Bike Racer, and Big Bumpin'.
I don't even know what Big Bump. And I had both of those. I had Sneaky King in the other one.
I think I did too. I
The
had
the
yeah,
pocket razor.
which is pretty funny that that happened. It was just
Yeah.
such a
Yeah.
random thing. What a crazy times we used to live in. Now we're getting games like Concord. No, I'm kidding. Um, yeah, man, I always wanted to work at a GameStop, but it just never
Same.
happened.
I had an
Um,
interview, dude. I had a second interview. Or
mhm.
like I went in for an interview and I had like a dude. This is what he said. He could have been like BSing me, but I remember going into it so confidently and giving him like he's like, oh, if I still remember this because I just it stuck with me. But he asked me a question of like, how did what would you feel if I told you that I wanted this display to look like this, but you were basically you didn't like the way it was gonna look, like it was bothering you. And I said, well, I would tell you this is probably the reason I'm thinking that this should be this way. And at the end of the day, you're the manager, so I'd have to listen to what you would want, right? And he's like, wow, that's a really good answer. Really good answer. And I just remember being like, oh, thank you. Like I was all,
I
good.
oh, sorry, go no,
Yeah,
finish your story. I know.
good,
I
good.
just no, I hate that kind of question with, like it's like, the VP comes in and says, "Hey, I want this done this way. What do you do?" It's like, "I'm just gonna do it." Like, what do you want me to say? Like, you want me to be like, "No, sir, you're wrong." He's a VP. I always just
Yeah,
hate those kind of
exactly.
questions when you're interviewing, but
Yeah, because like
yeah, I never
you gotta answer them. Sorry, I know it's like both of us.
you too, I know. We're stutters.
We gotta answer them like in such a way that
You
is
kinda
like is like you're kissing their asses, right?
Yeah, I kinda do it, like, exactly how you do it. When I answer those questions, I answer it in a way I would think, but I'm like, "But also I'm gonna ask for your like, what you think of it." Like, I'm gonna offer a
Yeah.
suggestion, but obviously, I'm gonna go with what you say.
I want to say this last thing
It's
about this
dumb.
because I think it died with this, right? Sort of is the like the paper application for a job.
Well, I remember trying
Like
to get an
I
application, they said I had to pre-order it for $5.
they said you needed Game Informer.
Yeah, I need the
No,
pro, I need
but
the pro.
he's all especially because we're not hiring. No, but like I remember, like it felt so much better because it was like, oh, when is the manager here? And it'd be like, oh, he comes in at 5, and then you'd come with your
Yeah.
Sunday best, and he'd be like, hey, my name's Ernie. Here you go. Here's my application.
Yeah, because you didn't wanna just give it
Good
to a worker
looks.
because there's gonna be
Yeah, no,
like
because
they're
they
not
don't
gonna
care.
yeah.
They don't care. Like they're looking for something particular
They
there.
need their hours, they don't wanna share their shifts, like, no, because it's such a small operation, you only need, like, 2
Yeah,
people per shift.
basically,
Um,
bro. Yeah.
which is yeah, it's wild. I mean, I always wish, but again,
To
it
be,
just good.
I think one of my dreams, Lex, if we ever become rich somehow, one of my big dreams has always been to open up a game store. Like I've always wanted to do that, where it's like a very nostalgic, but very like just like trying to keep up with the new. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I've
those
always,
exist too, like the ones with that have, like, the old school
yeah, it's like the
stuff.
mom and pop shop and all those
Yeah.
those kind of places. But it's like I've always wanted to do something like that. But it's like I know the operation is going to be wild.
No, that's
Like trying to keep
that's a big
that.
gamble,
Yeah.
unless your stock goes up. Remember the GameStop
No,
whole
the
thing that
GameStop.
happened?
Yeah.
That stuff that happened. I didn't get into that sadly, but,
That would have been
um
awesome. I'd actually know a guy who did it,
mhm.
and he
Yeah, I
actually
remem
made a lot of money. And I call him the Wolf of Wall Street.
oh, dang. It's funny, I on my last job, some guy, he goes it was just a random dude dropping something off, and he goes, "Did you get that GameStop stock?" I'm like, "No, I didn't." He's all, "AMC's next," and he just floated away. I was
Oh,
like,
dude, I did. I did
just
AMC, dude. Nothing
Dis
happened.
disappeared in the night. It had a little thing, but anyway, we're not a stock podcast.
Nah, it's bad.
But yeah, dude, it was good times. I do miss those times. I think the last time I bought something from GameStop was when they had like a buy two get one pre-owned. That was the cool thing about GameStop. You can buy the pre-owned games. Like that was nice. They might not have been as expensive, but
You
like
get discounted like $10,
I
$5.
for
It's
most
so
of the
bad.
things, but you'd have to wait a little bit, like anything
Yeah.
now, right? But again, the digital age is here. The digital age has taken over. These GameStops, there's still a few out there if you're really looking for that experience. I mean, but I don't think they will last very long. Um, yeah, man. I mean, I don't really have much more to say about a GameStop. Is there anything else? Any stories you want to share? Anything that you can remember?
No, no, I mean
No,
nothing
no,
really.
no.
No, we're done. I think we've said enough, and
Now we go to
it,
Sushi Stop.
yeah,
Have you
that
seen
thing
those
is
places
fun.
where it has the
I
same
have seen
exact, like
that sushi
the
stuff.
same color?
Fonts. Yeah, it's like they took the GameStop and they just changed out the game to sushi, right?
I know you have
But
to pre-order your sushi. Okay.
it's funny because like we talked about all these experiences with GameStop, more so you than I did. I don't recall a lot of the experiences that I did. Most of mine were like very me trying to get away with like making more money from these people. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? But I always got screwed over. I think I only screwed over them once, and I don't think you. I don't know. I mean, I could probably say this, but
They're gonna
I
come
bought a.
after you.
I don't think it. I mean, they're probably
It
gonna
was you
die.
in the comments. Go ahead, please share it. I want to hear this.
So when the PlayStation VR had come out, it was really expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
I've heard
then
this.
I wanted to get a PS4 Pro, and so somehow this was a great moment in my like year in my life where I was able to like go on BestBuy.com and I got Astro 850 headsets for like $80, and they were going for like 350, right? And I don't know how, but it got messed up in the system, and I got them for that. And
Oh
then
my goodness.
literally that week, I think that same week, I went online to this website and they sold the PSVR, and the PSVR is like what was like 300, 200 something,
Something
and
like that, yeah.
I got it for like $80.
I remember you telling me that. I was all pissed. I was like, "Are you serious?" Because I had bought the
Yeah, I
VR, and
just
I was
bought it
like,
like for yeah, and I used it for like maybe a cool minute. Like it wasn't even like a long time because I was like, I don't see a future in PSVR at the moment for me personally, and so I'm like, I'm just gonna trade it in, and so I traded in my PS4 like launch edition and my PSVR, and I got like way more money than I should have because of the VR or whatever, and I got a PS4 Pro because of it. And
"That's
then I
hilarious."
remember telling him after I did it, like after I got my hands on my PlayStation 4 Pro,
You told
and
the GameStop
I told the
employee?
guy, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna tell you something really random. You know how much I got that PSVR for? And he's all no, and I'm like, $80. Goodbye. And I left.
Well, dang,
Because
just
I was
thug life moment, bro.
yeah,
You're
because
so-
because at this point, bro, think about how long they had been screwing us over.
Oh, of course. No, you felt like you
And this
did
was my
something.
fun.
Like
And it, I
we all,
mean, it
everyone was
was
clapping for you as you walked out. They're all slow mo.
yeah.
What was the song you were singing? The Warthog one.
The cult person.
As you're walking out, that is awesome, dude.
It's like Mussolini.
I love that. One last thing I just want to say. I don't.
And so many last things.
There was like when I talk about Guitar Hero, I remember like or like if you get a console or if you get like a special edition, walking out with it was always like and people just going like, oh, just like kind of watching you with it,
Oh
like you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
that
about.
was a thing too. I remember
Yeah.
walking around my Guitar Hero 3, people were like, I'm surprised I didn't get jumped because that was the thing I was just walking with it.
Dude, I was always so scared when I went to go get my PS4. I remember being pretty scared, and like I remember having to like because we were in a little car that my friend took us, or my cousin, and he took us in there, and I was like I was like ripping the PS4 like on top of someone, like because we're all like jam packed in there. Oh no, you know what? He had his daughter or his daughter's like a chair,
Her like car seat.
or I was his son, sorry. And so I was like this, like, oh,
That's hilarious. Hey, you gotta make it happen sometimes,
bro, dude.
That's good times.
It was a good time to be had at the time. Would I want to do it again? No. I love being home and getting my games digital. I love being able to just like spend less money than I
I'll
would
pick
have
I'll
years
get a
ago,
physical
right?
game every once in a while, but yeah, it's kind of rare now. And again, like when I look back on it, the money I have wasted selling to them, they've made off of us. Yeah, it sucks, but that we were kids. That's just how it is, and I'm sure those kids doing it now with like the live service games like Fortnite. They're probably blowing money off of that, using their parents' credit cards and stuff. But anyway, if you all have any GameStop stories that you want to share with us in the comments, let us know. We really want to know. I mean, I know Most of us gamers know GameStop, have some kind of experience with it. If not, maybe you're lucky, I don't know. But there was a certain special, like, feeling to it, you know what I mean? So thank you all again so much for listening to this episode. Please like, subscribe, share, whatever you gotta do. And, yeah, Ernie, any last words for us?
No, thank you all for tuning in every week when we drop an episode. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you. Thank you, Lex, for hosting the episode. I really had a jolly old good time.
Yes, me too. Just thinking about the GameStop, thinking about those times, always a fun
Nostalgia.
time.
Yeah. It was
Thank
definitely a good fun time.
Mhm.
It's fun because
I'm gonna
like
start
also
just kidding. Okay, go
also
ahead.
we've known each other for such a long time, so it kind of like it's funny because at some point we all like kind of got together during this like particular moment, which is really cool.
Yeah, well, actually, let me sorry, I have one last thing I need to say.
Hey, dude, no more stories, dude. You were done, dude.
Last
Come
of
on.
Us game, I remember you and I with some friends went to go see Man of Steel that night, and I was really upset because I wanted to go pick up Last of Us at midnight,
Yeah,
but
me
it ended
too.
up they
Yeah.
didn't even have a midnight launch anyway. That's the funny thing I wanted to throw in there. Anyway, thank you all so much, dude.
Thank
Sorry, I
you
don't wanna leave it
guys.
at that note, it's kinda funny.
You guys are good. Yeah.
Tune in next week. Checkpoint reached. Goodbye.